Welcome to the Planet MicroCap Showcase Virtual 2022. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and thank you all for joining us today. Our next presenter here at the event is Ken Berg. He's the president and CEO of Divergent Energy Services. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is DVG on the TSX Venture. And with that, Ken, take it away.
Thank you, Robert. It's great to be here today. I'll start with our usual disclaimer slide, obligatory for the things I'm about to say. So who is Divergent? Well, founded in 1997 with other services and products in mind, in 2006, the company entered the oil field services market with the purchase of a company in Wyoming focused on submersible pumps. I joined the company in late 2012 and in 2013 became the CEO. And by 2015, we had exited a couple other product lines with a mandate to focus solely on submersible pumping products and technologies. COVID was a profound effect, leading us into a period of working hard with all of our partners, our clients, our vendors, our suppliers. Coming into 2020, our balance sheet was not in the best of shape. We'd struggled to get back to positive working capital, which we didn't. However, with the participation of all our partners, we're able to turn current payables into long-term notes and convert 75% of a debenture into equity. And we exited COVID in a strong working capital position, able to move the company forward on an industry recovering from COVID. And now in 2022, Q3 was our posted 9th consecutive quarter of revenue growth and our 8th consecutive quarter of positive earnings. So as we look into 2023, we are in a great position to take advantage of opportunities that are emerging in the United States, which is where our operations are. And that's supported by increasing pressures on oil and gas and supply chain issues. The leadership team, the executive team made up of Mr. Barton, myself, and Mr. Olson, the three of which we have worked together before in the past very successfully, which is why we've reunited under the Divergent banner to recreate some of that magic, combined with an incredible board of directors with amazing depth and history from being founders, entrepreneurs, to CEOs of large companies, directors of large companies. We have an amazing cross-section of skill sets and abilities to give us guidance and strength during all times. And then I want to comment on a technology committee that was founded to support the board and management in analyzing not just the services we currently offer, but how to add on to that with new and emerging technologies, products, services, look at its competitiveness and marketability. Is it a fit for the company? I chair that committee, and it's made up of 5 other members with vast backgrounds in engineering, R&D, intellectual property, business development, all Calgary-based people, and we meet regularly to keep ahead of the curve. Our operating structure, as we're set up, has one operating division, and that's the pumps division in the United States, where we operate as Elite Pump Solution or Extreme Pump Solutions. On the left, the 2 divisions are more conceptual. They fall under the wing of the advisory committee, where we look at potential products that we could bring under our wing and finish their development of, and potentially file patents under our name, or technologies where somebody else maintains their ownership of it and we get a license of it. And some of those that we're looking at now and have a line of sight into are related to water technologies. So what do we do? Our products are electric submersible pumps that are used around the world in many industries, everything from agriculture to mining. It can be a water pump, it can be an oil well pump, it can be a lot of things. We focus mostly on water pumps and oil well pumps. And so it's essentially just a submersible electric motor at the bottom of the hole with a pump above it, and it moves high volumes of fluid up to surface. And we come out to the field, we provide the people, the equipment, and install it, take it out of the well later on. And one of the interesting parts about this is we have thousands of our pumps at the bottom of the well, and it becomes a perpetual treadmill, as it were. They only last for anywhere from 3 to 10 years. They always need to be replaced, refurbished. And so you have a renewing market within your own client base. And where do we operate? Well, the Northern Rockies. So essentially Denver, Colorado, and north. Really strong in eastern Wyoming, northern Colorado, and we are preparing ourselves to launch up north into the Bakken in North Dakota, which is a very big market. Probably the strongest place we are is in coal bed methane, where we have thousands of pumps that pump water and dewater the coal seam where methane comes out. And the client base there have really aggressive growth plans just because of the renewable aspect of the methane that they're producing, and its use in power plants in both Colorado and Wyoming. Another key aspect to Divergent is we focus mainly on wells that are already on production. We're not reliant on new drilling activity, which can be cyclical in nature, both seasonal and with the price of oil and gas, whereas production maintenance is a year-round and less cyclical business. Our business model. Number one, we're not anything without the team on the ground, the boots on the ground. We focus on operational quality. It needs to be reliable, repeatable service. Every day, our crews need to go out there and deliver the same value to our customers every day. And that allows the executive team to step back and have a look over the business instead of in the business, and focus on key things like cash flow. Where are we going to deploy it? What are the growth opportunities? Are we going to spend our cash flow on growth or reducing leverage on our balance sheet so that we continue to strengthen our balance sheet? Cash management has been number one for the last year or two. And as far as a growth strategy goes, incredibly disciplined. We rely heavily on our technical advisory committee to look at expansion opportunities that make sense. It has to be sustainable. It has to be within our wheelhouse. It can't depart too far from what we're doing now. It just doesn't make sense in many ways like that. And ESG, I'll talk a little bit more about this later in some of our initiatives, but it's really important to our clients. It's really important to a number of investors out there, so it's key to us as well. Pursuit of technology. Our advisory committee works under a pretty narrow bandwidth of a decision funnel where we look at all the technologies out there and processes, and both Canada and the US are full of intellectual capital out there. There's a great number of people who are working on technologies but may not want to bring it to market. They either don't know how to bring it to market, or they don't care to. They don't want to start up that company. So that's where we come in, is finding those individuals and helping them bring their ideas and their technologies to life. We're not a blue sky research firm. We don't intend to be. We have a technology readiness level that we want to see something at before we go look at it, because we want to bring things to market. We don't want to spend any material amount of money on research. From the ESG side, this really started for us in 2017 with a key customer who previously had a mandate of only new equipment going down their wellbores, and started an idea where we could recycle and reuse and refurbish 100% of our equipment. So we've kept everything either goes back down the well or it goes into metal recycling. So nothing's going into the junkyard, as it were. And on the social side, we work really hard to support our communities. and work hard on governance as well and meeting all of our clients' ESG needs. Our roadmap, where are we headed to? Well, exiting out of 2022, which is near, we will continue to enjoy organic growth across the northern U.S. Rockies. There is lots of market share available. We are one of the few independent pump shops in the northern Rockies that offer the product we do. And the others are large nationals or multinationals. And in some ways, we have the advantage in our people and our service level that is a little more intimate, call it, with our customers. We know them, we have a strong relationship and a great bond. We do have one technology that we're looking at to bring to market next year. It is being developed by an outside party, not by us. And our agreement with them is this is a fellow that doesn't care to bring it to market. He's developing it on the outside, and should he be successful in his pilot testing, our agreement is that we would own the intellectual property and bring it to market. So that's very exciting and something to keep an eye on. Also in 2023, currently we buy a lot of our products through wholesalers, the middleman, as it were, in the United States. This is a big working capital draw that we look forward to buying direct from the machine shops and fabricators of submersible pumps and capturing those market margins, increasing our working capital efficiency, and improve the delivery to our shareholders. And ongoing, not just in 2023, but we continue to evaluate the market, product lines, geography. Where do we want to be? What's a smart way to expand the company? Is it a organic expansion? Do we buy somebody, a company our size, and expand geographically, add on product lines? Those are the things we consistently evaluate. And then 2024 and beyond, a repeatable cycle of growth where we have some bolt-on technologies and we identify small companies that we can add into Divergent and continue to grow the company. In summary, why invest in oilfield services right now? Well, it is a fantastic time to invest in production-related energy services. There is a global energy crisis, as I think you all know, that is setting up this industry for years of strong growth and strong support on oil and gas. The industry consolidation has already begun. Merger and acquisition activity in the United States is high, a little less so in Canada. And our active participation in that is going to require some scale. So we're actively looking at how can we grow bigger to be part of that consolidation and buy up and grow. ESP market right now, as it sits, is a $10 billion market globally and over $2 billion in North America. So we're a very small player, and it would not take more than 5 to 10% of that market to become a major player in North America. Additionally, to oil field services, as we've been watching carefully the water scarcity, especially in the southern United States, that is all related to pumping revenues as well, moving water from place to place, improving the way water is pumped out of the ground and how it's stored, how it's treated. Are there technologies that we can bring in to help clean up produced water and wastewater and redeliver that water back into the usable state instead of being disposed of or pumped down wells? There are opportunities in that space. And again, we are targeting everything that's around existing production maintenance, existing wells. We will participate in new wells that are drilled, but we don't want to be reliant on that because it is very, very cyclical. So with that, that is our presentation and who Divergent is today, and I'll turn it back over to you, Robert.
Thank you very much for your presentation here today at the Planet MicroCap Showcase Virtual 2022. I'd now like to introduce Paul Andriola from Small Cap Discoveries to conduct a short Q&A. With that, Paul, take it away.
Okay, we're in tough markets. How do you handle the macro environment? What are you doing to handle that macro environment right now?
Oh, that is a challenge that we talk about all the time, that the attracting investors to this size of a company is a challenge. And it seems like there's almost a bit of a disconnect between results in your share price and how do you drive value for your shareholders. That's why we want to focus on growing the company, not just demonstrating organic top line growth and earnings, because we've been doing that and it hasn't delivered concrete results that we're satisfied with for our shareholders. So we want to get into acquisitions and technologies that have a material effect on how we're perceived and set ourselves different and differentiate ourselves from other investment opportunities out there.
Looking forward, in 2023, what sort of catalysts do you expect or should investors watch out for?
2023 is going to be, I think, an amazing year. There's been a crossover point where supply and demand of oil and gas has reached a point of perhaps no return. I don't think oil and gas prices are going to come down, and there's going to be an investment catalyst into producers again that has been shy for the last 2 to 3 years to increase production. And we're just in a fabulous place operationally and financially to take advantage of that. And that's going to be our catalyst next year, I think, for growth, is this crux in the supply demand of oil and gas globally that causes both the Canadian and the US governments to look at domestic production and increase it in ways that they haven't before, and provide some incentives to do so.
And what sort of corporate actions are you doing right now to execute on your business strategies going forward?
We, as a board, have twice annually, we have strategy sessions where we look down and we look at geographies where we want to be, companies that are out there that are like size, and evaluate how we can acquire them, merger with them. Does it make sense? In this year alone, we've looked at 2 opportunities. One, frankly, was just too big for us to bite off, and the other just didn't look accretive enough, so we had to walk away. But those are the things that we look at, is accelerating our pace of growth to draw attention to ourselves.
And for full disclosure, we are shareholders of Divergent Energy.
All right, Ken. Well, with that, thank you so much for your presentation here today, answering some of Paul's questions. Everybody watching, thank you as well. And Ken, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of the conference, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.